everybody, it's Kaylee. I am back with another What Sold From Last Week video. I'm going to be sharing with you some of my sales that I sold on 3 different platforms last week: eBay, Poshmark, and Depop. I had a pretty good sales week, so let's jump into the sales.
Okay guys, so we are going to be talking about sales between November 22nd and 28th. That is last week. All these sales happened within 1 week. As you can see, I had a really amazing sales week, and I am so thankful for every single sale. Jumping into sales, I sold a total of 52 items. I had a gross sales amount. Gross is before any fees or any costs are taken out, just the total sales amount including shipping. I sold $2,534.16. This made my average sale price $48.73. And then my total cost of goods for everything that I sold last week was $334.07. This is a little bit higher than I normally like to have my cost of goods, but I did pay up for a few items, which I will show you today. On eBay, I sold 29 items. On Poshmark, I sold 20. And then on Depop, I sold 3 items on Depop this past week. I cross-listed quite a few items over to there, so I attribute my sales to that because I'm putting more time into it. On eBay, my gross sales were roughly $1,800, which is amazing. On Poshmark, they were $596, and then on Depop, all 3 of those totaled to $135. My average sale price on eBay was $62, which is a lot higher. It's actually double than what I'm usually at. I'm usually in the 30 range right now. On Poshmark, my average sale price was almost $30, and then on Depop, it was $45. So all around an amazing average sale price, but eBay is definitely into high gear for this week. So I'm going to start by showing you a few of the items which helped attribute to my great sales on eBay. These are all also items that I paid up for. One of them I paid up to $30 for, and I just wanted to be pretty transparent about that, is I am willing to pick up some items for a higher cost if I know I'm going to sell it quickly and at a high selling price. So leather jackets were in full swing for me. I've shown, I think, pretty much all of these in my haul videos. So if you're interested in going back, I talk more about the items there. So this one in particular, I paid $16.99 for, so $17. The brand is Carbon to Cobalt, and this is a size large. This brand is definitely one you want to look out for. This was a leather, well, a lamb leather jacket, which in my opinion sometimes adds value if it is a different type of leather. In this case, lamb leather is very soft and supple, and I think people are looking for it right now. When I do come across lamb leather, sometimes it is completely trashed because the material is so soft it gets lacerations easily. But this was still in great condition, and this is a brand people look for in leather jackets. So if you come across this brand, definitely worth looking up. So this one I had listed at $250 plus shipping. For the purpose of this video, if you're wondering if I charge shipping or not, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. You can always look right here to see if I'm charging shipping on eBay. So I did charge shipping. I had it listed for $250, and it did sell at full price and very quickly. Here's another leather jacket that I sold also very quickly. This is by Polo Ralph Lauren, and this is a size extra large. Besides the fact that this was a leather jacket by them in good condition, because I think pretty much any leather jacket in this brand that's in good condition you could make tons of money on. But I think this houndstooth lining added some value to it, so that is worth noting. So like I said, great condition. This one wasn't as modern as my other one, but it was in a really great size. I paid $13 for this jacket, and I had it listed for $249.99. I was running a promotion in my store, so the buyer took advantage of that, and they ended up getting this jacket for $224.99. All right, here is the last leather jacket that sold this past week. I thought I would put them all together just for the purpose of learning about leather jackets. I know it's not something people pick up often. They're bulky, they're heavy, they're weird to store, they're kind of weird to ship, but they are totally worth it if you get them in the right brands. All of these sold very quickly. So this next one is the one that I paid $30 for. The brand is Cooper, and as you can see, it's a flight leather jacket. When you see this symbol, type A2, so I had all my information there. Also a great size in a 50L, which is a larger men's size. So in this brand and in this style, this is a highly sought after jacket. I listed mine for $129.99, and the buyer took advantage of, again, a promotion I was running in my store, and it sold for $116.99. Out of the leather jackets, but still into some higher priced jackets. This is a Levi's men's denim jacket. I think I've said before, but you pretty much can't go wrong buying a men's Levi's denim jacket. This one in particular had more value because it was Sherpa lined. So this white Sherpa lining adds value to the jacket, and this is a really popular style right now. It's also worth noting that this was a little bit of an acidy looking wash. I didn't put acid wash in the title because I didn't think it was full-on acid wash, but I think when the buyer sees this picture, it helps it to sell quicker. It was also an extra large, which is a great size, and so this sold very, very quickly. Not only in this brand, but keep your eye out for the style in other brands as well, because I think that the style is super hot. So the denim with the Sherpa lining and the Sherpa collar. So this one I had listed for $69.99, and it ended up selling for $62.99. Again, a very quick sale. Here is a coat I took a little bit of a chance on. So I really love selling camel hair coats. I come across them relatively often, but I pass on almost all of them because they usually have moth holes or some kind of issue with the fabric. Camel hair is one that you're going to come across flaws pretty often. This one was in really great shape. I looked on the inside of the jacket, and it was made by Saks Fifth Avenue in collaboration with this Florette, which I assume is a fabric maker. And you'll see this often where a brand will also have another label on the inside from somebody that made the fabric. You'll see this often with Loro Piana. So when I looked up Saks Fifth Avenue camel hair coats, not a lot came up, but when I checked solds and I sorted from highest to lowest, this Florette material was one that popped up on the higher end solds, and therefore I realized that I had something special. This was also a union made jacket, which again is something that I think adds value and often people look for in a vintage garment. So if you do have something with a union tag on the inside, you probably want to put union made into your title. This also sold really quickly. I had this listed for $99 and it did sell at full price. Moving into some sweaters, I sold this Peter Millar pullover sweater. Peter Millar is a wonderful brand to look out for in lots of things. Its resale value is pretty good. One thing you want to look for with this brand, you're often going to come across stuff with company logos or different kinds of embroidery on it. I think if you pick that stuff up, depending on the content of the embroidery, you can still sell it. But I try to look for minimal things on this brand unless it's a master's logo or something like that. So this one did have a little embroidery. I'm not sure what it was, but I didn't think it was going to be a big deterrent for a buyer because it's just a little embroidery on the front. So this was just a cotton pullover, but it was in great condition and it had a little bit of that heathered blue in a size extra large. I sold this one for my full asking price, $39.99. Keep your eye out for this brand, and I think we have another Peter Millar coming up. I'm just going to skip to it now. for simplicity purposes. So this is the other Peter Millar item I sold. Here's the tag. This one was a cashmere linen blend. It was a size extra, extra large. Again, these larger sizes I think help to sell these items. This also sold quickly at my full asking price for $49.99. Definitely keep your eye out for Peter Millar, especially when it is in more luxurious materials. This is an item I've sat on for a little while, but I'm still happy that I picked it up. I've had really good luck with this brand, and the brand is Geiger. I think I've sold maybe a total of 5 pieces by this brand now, and I always come across them with these boiled wool coats. Now, something to note is when I came across this brand, I looked further into it because I noticed it was made in Austria, plus it was made out of boiled wool. And typically things made in Austria or Ireland or Italy and they're made out of wool or cashmere usually is a brand worth looking into and typically sells for a higher rate. So originally that's how I came across this brand, and since then I've been picking them up. So the material is a boiled wool, and so I always make sure to put that in my title. Size 40, which I think is different sizing. You'll have to convert to US. Really nice red color, and I always take a close-up of the buttons because they usually have some ornate buttons. They usually sell between $40 and $60 for me, and this one I have listed at $50, and it sold on an offer for $45. I sold this Ralph Lauren skirt. I have really good luck with Ralph Lauren, especially in skirts, which is weird because to me skirts don't sell that well, but whenever I come across them in this brand, if they have some kind of unique factor, I will pick them up. So this one I picked up because it had an equestrian look and it had some buckle details. I can usually sell skirts by this brand when they have, substantial factors for $30 to $40. This one I had listed at $35 and it sold on an offer for $31.50. Here's one of the bags I recently picked up. Now this one did have some wear, so you'll see I noted that in the condition area. There was some fading and some marks on the leather and also on the inside of the bag, which I made sure to note. Nonetheless, it still ended up selling. I had it listed for $39.99. It sold on an offer for $35.99. These are the kind of vintage sweaters that you want to look out for. They are called tennis sweaters, and in particular, this one had a bunch of cable knit detail, which really helped to sell it. But whenever you see a color blocking V-neck here, I like to call them tennis sweaters, and that's what people are looking for when they're looking for this type of sweater. So this one was just a cotton sweater, very chunky, and again, the cable knit really helped to add detail. Had this listed for $39.99, and it did sell at my full asking price. I've been selling a lot of women's Nike sweatshirts lately. This is a baby pink crew neck fleece sweatshirt. The crew neck fleece sweatshirt is the style name, and I've been coming across these often, and at first I was pricing them too low, but I'm learning that I can sell them at about the $40 range, which is what this one sold for. It sold for $39.99. This is another cashmere sweater. This is by the brand Sundance. I definitely recommend, if you come across this brand, look it up with the type of item you have. So in this case, it was a 100% cashmere cow neck sweater. And this one sold very quickly. I had it listed at $49.99. and it sold for $44.99 on an offer. This is a belt by Chico's. If you watch my channel, you'll know that I really love selling belts. I find that belts can sell for more than clothing in a lot of cases, and most of the times they are easier to store than clothing. So it either usually says Chico's on a little metal bar, or it'll say it on the back of a leather belt. And I can usually sell them between $30 and $40 if they are a more unique belt like this one was. So this one I had listed at $35, and it did sell at my full asking price. So I definitely keep your eye out for Chico's belts. Sell a lot of silver jeans. These ones were a size 14, which is a larger size. Can usually sell these between 30 and 50. I know that's a big range, but it depends on the style that you have. $35 is usually my asking price. I find that's a pretty safe bet to get them to sell quickly. These are the Suki Mid Slim Boots, and don't let the weird sizing deter you. Pretty much any size in silver jeans, as long as it's in good condition, I pick it up. So these ones I had listed at $34.99, and they did sell at my full asking price. These are a pair of American Eagle jeans, and these are called the High Rise Tom Girl Skinny. And you'll be able to find the style name on the inside of the waistband on the other side of where the tag is. This particular style I pick up almost every time I come across it. They just sell really well for me, usually between $20 and $25 plus shipping. This one I had listed for $24.99. It sold on an offer to watcher for $22.49. And if you have ones with distressing, you want to lean on the higher end of $24.99. Another pair of jeans that I love selling, these are a pair of men's BKE jeans. And they always have the style name right here, which makes them super easy to look up. I don't think I've ever come across a pair of BKE men's jeans that I didn't find had a great sell-through rate. The women's jeans are very particular in which styles sell, but the men's jeans, I don't think I've ever come across one that didn't sell very, very well. So these were the Tyler style. They sold at my full asking price for $34.99. And last item I wanted to show you on eBay before we jump on to Poshmark and on to Depop, I sold this Lauren Ralph Lauren women's waffle knit cowl neck sweater. Again, I just love this brand. When you come across cowl neck sweaters with this waffle knit, this particular style does very, very well. So I almost always pick this style up when I come across it. I have this listed for $29.99. It ended up selling at my full asking price. This is one I offered free shipping on. So you're not going to make a ton of money, but it is a quick flip, and you can come across this style pretty often. All right, jumping on over into Poshmark. I wanted to show you this one first because I've actually found this top twice now. This is the second one that I've sold. It is by the brand Zara. And I've mentioned before, but you can really easily look up the style name of Zara from the tags on the inside. When I looked up this particular style, the first time I came across it, it was a top that Kate Middleton had worn. And so that's how I market this top. So if you came across this, it looks pretty, I don't know, grungy, I guess. And it doesn't look like much. It also, because of the buttons, seems to be an older style. But don't pass on this top. It is a Zara green linen button top. It's pretty common to come across. And for me, it always sells for around $50. This one sold for $45. I worked out a deal with the buyer, but the reason this sells for this much is because I market it as seen on Kate Middleton. So you really, really want to do style name research on brands like Zara because some of them are more rare pieces, and that's how you come across information like this. So if you come across a Zara green linen button-up top, it could be this one, so make sure and do your research because this usually sells for $50 for me really, really quickly, and make sure you put the as seen on Kate Middleton into your listing. Again, these are pretty common to come across, so I wanted to show this to you. This is an Eddie Bauer women's half-zip sweater, so I wanted to show you this one because these are also pretty common to come across. This is not made out of wool or anything. It is just an Eddie Bauer pullover sweater, but the reason I picked it up was because of the Nordic print. The reason I picked it up was because it had that Nordic print and it was a women's size extra large. I find that Nordic prints in women's larger sizes than Eddie Bauer sell very, very quickly. This one sold for $27. It's not something you're going to get rich on, but it is something that's pretty common to come across. So look for Eddie Bauer in larger sizes with Nordic prints or some, more fancier prints in sweaters. This is just a pair of Adidas navy blue striped jogger pants. They are men's, and the reason I wanted to show you this because this is also something that's pretty common to come across. You want to look for jogger pants where they taper here. This is a really popular style right now. You can look for them in Nike, you can look for them in Under Armour, you can look for them in Adidas, and they will sell quickly for you. So this was a navy blue pair in the brand Adidas, and these sold for $30. This is also something I feel is fairly common to come across. If you're not in the sleepwear section, the nightgown section, the lingerie section of your thrift store, you're probably missing out on some really good items. I just recently learned about this brand. It's called Lawns of Salzburg. And since I learned of it, I've been picking it up since, and I have found quite a few pieces in this brand, and they sell really, really well. So this one in particular is a vintage piece by this brand, and it was new with tags. This is a fleece nightgown with kind of a novelty bear print. And this one sold for $42. Here's another Ralph Lauren piece. Again, this is a brand I come across very, very often. So depending on where you're at in the country, you'll probably come across this too. I definitely don't pick up everything, but I try to look for substantial pieces. This is just a cotton blazer. If this would have been wool, I would have gotten much, much more for it. But I look for Ralph Lauren pieces in substantial pieces, number one, so this is a blazer, but also when they have a nautical theme. So this blue and white stripe with the gold button really screamed nautical to me, and you'll see that was a keyword that I used. This kind of stuff sells very quickly for me, and this sold at $27. Here is a brand I pretty much pick up every time I come across it, as long as the garment is in decent condition. This is Standard by James Perse, and they do have vanity sizing, so you have to convert to US sizing. You can see I put here, tag says size 3, equivalent to US large, and I got that information on the James Perse size chart. So I think, as usual, men's usually do better than women's, but I still pick up the women's pieces as well, again, as long as they are in decent condition and they're somewhat modern, because they sell very, very quickly. This one sold for $31, and this is just a plain long sleeve shirt. This is definitely something you want to look for during this time of the year because people are looking for cozy slippers. It's starting to get cold out, and UGG and LL Bean, even Eddie Bauer, their slippers with the shearling lining, all those brands do very well in this style. So this is an UGG Australia men's leather shearling line slippers. And you want to be careful because shearling can be replicated. If it's actual shearling, those are the ones you want to look for. So these were in pretty decent shape, and again, men's sell better for me, but even women's in this brand and slippers do pretty well. These ended up selling for $50. Again, I wanted to show you some things you might come across. This is a J. Crew men's sweater. Now, definitely don't pick up every J. Crew men's sweater. This one was even from the outlet. That's what those little two dots mean. But this was a size extra large. It's in a well-known brand, and it had all over cable knit details. So cable knit, where these raised edges are, brings value to an item. So if you can pair different values together, you're going to get a quality piece that other resellers aren't picking up because of the brand or whatever. If you compare certain things together and get a combination of good factors that raise the value, you'll sell your item quickly. So this one sold for $27. This is the only time I found this brand, and the brand is Reformation. Definitely a brand that if you come across it, I would say just pick it up as long as it's in good condition. The stuff has a high retail and a high resale value. I've been sitting on this one for a little while. I think it's because it was black and it's just hard to photograph and you can't really tell, what the item is really, but I don't really see a better way of photographing this. So I sold this one for $68. Had this been another color, or if I had the material tag, I feel like I probably could have sold it for more. But nonetheless, still happy with that sale. And another item I feel is fairly common to come across is Abercrombie & Fitch. Again, don't pick up every Abercrombie & Fitch, but some of the pieces can do well. These men's muscle thermal shirts do very well. So they have muscle written right there, and then they are that like thermal-like material. This one sold for $23. Okay, so we're going to move on and finish up with the 3 sales I had on Depop. I am going to show you all of the sales on Depop because you guys have been really interested about Depop lately, asking me to make videos about it. I'm not really an expert yet. As you can see, I've only sold 15 items on there, but I am getting better at it and I'm starting to focus on it, and it is a platform that I really like, so hopefully I'll make a video about it soon. So I sold this Ralph Lauren women's vintage. It's basically like a DIY. I think it was a dress at one point. Someone cut it into a top and a skirt. And so I made sure to note that in the description. This one ended up selling for $35. I basically put anything wacky, weird, and vintage over here. This is a sweater I've had for quite a while, but I cross-listed it over to Depop because, as you can see, it's very unique. The color even is very unique. It has Western print, it has a deer on it, just had a lot of crazy things going for it, so of course I had to pick it up. Someone ended up purchasing this for $30. And then lastly, I wanted to show you this one because I've been talking about it a lot. You want to look for 3D knit sweaters. Now this one has a very small 3D knit. It's not really screaming at you, but as you can see, these edges are raised, and typically there are multicolor details. The more colorful ones definitely sell better, but even these neutral colored ones can do well. This one ended up selling for $45.
Alright guys, so that is the end of what sold last week. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I know this video was a little longer than normal, but I did sell more than normal, and I wanted to share with you some of those great items so that you know the reasons why I was picking them up. That way they can be in your head when you're at your thrift store, and you can hopefully make some good sales. Speaking of sales, drop a comment down below and let me know how your sales are going for you. Have your sales started to pick up as we move into more holidays? Hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. I am so thankful for all of you. Thanks for sticking around. I know that it's been about a week since I've made a video, but I wanted to take some time off and spend time with my family. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.